Welcome back to Court TV Live. We were getting ready for the start of the penalty phase in Florida in the pregnant mistress murder trial, and then things started with a big hiccup. The defense team saying that they have witnesses who don't want to come to court and testify because they're afraid of criticism on social media. The sidebar's over. Let's go back in now.
As far as that's concerned, so my plan would be, based on what y'all told me, we would do whatever we can this morning with the state. See, the state has victim impact. Does the state have any other evidence other than victim impact?
That's all.
Okay, so we would do the victim impact. Then what would be the earliest that your prison expert or the other witness would be available?
1 p.m., Judge.
1 p.m., so that we would break till 1 p.m., do that. We would reconvene tomorrow, hoping to get those witnesses on that flew down tomorrow morning. And if you needed some extra time to talk to them briefly, we might be waiting for jurors as we were doing right now. We would do that, and then perhaps we would have the closings either later in the morning or early afternoon, and we would just go that. So it's not a major adjustment to our schedule, right? Does that sound?
Did you say closings today?
Tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, that's fine.
Tomorrow afternoon.
The only...
Doesn't that accommodate everything for the defense? I believe it does, because you have your people, they have their people flying in today, then you'd have them tomorrow, and we were able to do the closings tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, I could probably survive it, Judge, yes.
Yeah, why not?
So to be clear, tomorrow morning I would have an opportunity to at least speak to these folks. And
yeah, if they're here.
They present their evidence, and then we just close in the afternoon. Yeah, that's fine with the state.
Yeah, so that would be the plan.
Yeah.
To accommodate the communication snafu regarding the witnesses flying down. That's what caused us the difficulty logistically. And let's get the Zoom straightened out, though. Well, we don't have all of our 16 jurors yet. All right. I'm going to go off the record momentarily.
Okay, while they go off the record, we want to keep talking here. I want to bring in attorney Rick Grundy and continue our discussion about whether what's going on social media should even be a consideration. Rick, maybe it's just me. Feel free to disagree with me, but who cares? If there isn't a threat to someone's life or something that is very serious and needs to be taken seriously, why a witness can't come to court or needs to be in protective custody or something like that, I get it. I get delays and measures, but people are going to say what they want to say. Trolls are going to troll. You know, successful people are going to be successful. You know, you don't see successful people trolling. What do you think, my friend? Should the court even pay any attention to this?
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you. The fact of the matter is you got to look at the importance of the situation. Can't get more important than you're trying to testify in favor of a person that you know not getting executed, and you're weighing your likes and dislikes on social media, then how valuable can that testimony be? During the break, you gave me a little opportunity to think about this one, and what I could most liken it to was when I was a prosecutor, and I did a lot of prosecutions of street gangs as well as organized gangs. And particularly with the respect to the street gangs, you're having, local, and it was in a culturally diverse area where language, culture of the United States was foreign to a lot of these people. So whether it be merchants, neighbors, family members, and obviously other gang members, they are your witnesses. The fact of the matter is, you know that, and you identify that early on. And if you're relying on these people, you got to spend a lot of time with them. You have to earn their trust, and you have to impress upon them that this is a court of law. There's a requirement that you be there. There's a requirement that you tell the truth. And at the end of the day, this is a part of your duties as a citizen. And, there's a lot of different buttons that you can push, but it takes time, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes creating a mutual bond and a mutual trust with those witnesses. People, you know, in all walks of life, people cannot simply be handed a piece of paper or tapped on the shoulder and say, come on into court and give your truthful testimony, and expect to A, show up, and B, perform in the manner that the attorney presenting them hopes and expects them to. It takes a lot of work. That's the kind of thing, you know, we don't see watching trials. Is there are hours and hours and hours of personal one-on-one prep to get a witness prepared to go before such a foreign body as a court and offer testimony.
Yes, yes, excellent insight, Rick. Let me ask you another legal question here. It sounds to me like these witnesses were not subpoenaed, and I'm kind of stunned and disturbed by that, because this is the death penalty case. Did you hear? It sounded to me like they weren't subpoenaed, and I'm going, I don't understand this, because subpoenas have power, and then, you know, courts have power to enforce certain things if someone is served, and perhaps you don't want to do this, but if you have to get a material witness warrant, that's what it's called. If you need to drag somebody into court, I'm sure you've done it before, Rick. And it's unpleasant, but it, you know, it has to happen. Did that surprise you that it sounded like counsel didn't have them subpoenaed?
It did, and I heard the same thing. I questioned myself afterwards if what he was trying to say was that even if we arrest them and bring them in here, it's not going to solve my problem because they're hesitant to give testimony. But it could be just, again, another shortcut. You know, it takes some effort to get your subpoena. You have to hire somebody, depending on who these people are. And again, my past with gang members, you know, you don't knock on the door and they answer and you serve them. You got to track them down. So it can take some work. But I disagree. If his statement was that we have them subpoenaed, but I'm not asking you for arrest warrants because they'll come in angry. Yeah, they do. And my experience was they quickly turn around because they've now seen that there are teeth to that piece of paper that they served. And to the extent that they don't want themselves tainted in the neighborhood, or in this case on social media, they don't want to be held in jail either. They're self-serving people. So they tend to, my experience was they come around quickly once they're in cuffs in the courtroom and realize this is going to happen. I'm not in control of the situation.
Mm-hmm. Right, Rick. Yeah, it's unpleasant if they, you know, you can do it the easy way or the hard way. Come to court willingly is the best way to do it. Yeah, I'm just really stunned by this, and it's great to talk it out with you, because it's kind of like where we've gotten. We're at this point in society. It's stunning, but yet it's not stunning. You know, that some people are concerned about being perceived some kind of way on social media if they give testimony. You know, there's plenty of people who don't do any social media and who, you know, recognize that it's not real life. And, you know, if you worry about what's being said, I mean, my gosh, I can't think of a bigger waste of time. It's incredible to me that this is an issue. And then it also kind of makes me wonder, is this just this defense team trying to create an issue? You know, because the stakes are so high here for this man whose life is literally on the line, Rick.
I don't think we have to go out on a branch very far to imagine in our minds reading the appeal that says my client was hindered because of the, you know, the open doors of the press in this matter, which, you know, I was also thinking during our break, and I did a trial more years ago than you'll ever get me to admit with Court TV. And one of the things that I have on my wall that I'm proudest of was an editorial that appeared afterwards that said what a opportunity this had proven to be for the community as a whole. And it praised the case as it was handled by both the prosecution and the defense, and showed the reasoned and civilized manner in which we handle the worst of the matters that arise in our society, and that Court TV had opened the doors to see that. And this more years ago, again, than I'd care to admit. So that is the upside of these proceedings going out to the community. But this whole social media thing, it grips us in every aspect of the society. I have children. I still have one in high school, and they live and breathe by this stuff. It's, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous in many aspects of life. And again, it needs to be dealt with. And I think for the instance that we're here right now, it just wasn't dealt with. This is not something that developed overnight.
Right, no, certainly not. Rick, great insight, and thank you for mentioning that about that case that you did many years ago that we broadcasted, and the praise that Court TV got and you got. Thank you for that. And if I remember correctly, I swear you and Vinnie Politan told me this, didn't Vinnie cover it back in the day?
That was
I thought
a young reporter.
Yeah, I thought so. That's awesome. Rick Grundy, thanks so much for sharing